Hi everyone, this is Cheryl and welcome to my sewing room. As you can see, I've been shopping. I was at the Sewing and Quilting Center of Southern Utah, which is in St. George. And I was taking a class for my new Baby Lock Triumph serger machine. And I couldn't leave the store without buying this absolutely beautiful novelty fabric with this sewing theme on it. I love working with novelty fabrics. They are so much fun. Novelty fabrics do say a lot about the person using them. For instance, if you were carrying a tote bag made out of this beautiful fabric without anyone knowing you, they would probably think, well, this person likes to sew, and you just might be on your way to taking a sewing class. Now, I'm going to talk about how you can go about getting this fabric or fabric like this. I'm also going to show you some really fun projects in which you can use this fabric for. These three fabrics right here are made by Michael Miller Fabrics. And this one's really fun. It's got a little bit of everything about sewing. Needles and threads, buttons, pins, straight pins, pin cushions, dress forms, sewing machines. It's got a little bit of everything on it. This is probably my favorite because it's just nothing but straight pins all over it. And this one is scissors. So go online, because I know not all of you live in the St. George area. So go online and enter Michael Miller Fabrics. It'll probably take you to their main website, and most of the time the manufacturers will list where you can buy this fabric. If that doesn't work for you, just enter Michael Miller Fabrics and other stores will be listed. You can also probably find some of this on fabric.com and equilter.com. This collection of fabric was designed by Nadia Hassman for Studio Fabrics. I love this one. This is probably my favorite, and then the button. It's nothing but zippers. I've never seen anything like this one before. Spools of thread, and I said buttons, a continuous stream of tape measure, and then a continuous line of sewing machines. So here's a couple of ways you could go about looking this fabric up. You can just say Nadia Hassman on the internet, or go to Studio Fabrics and look it up there. There again, the manufacturer often will list where their fabric is sold. If not, just enter Nadia Hassman Fabrics and see what happens. Also, again, go on fabric.com or equilter.com to see if they carry it. Now let's take a look at some really fun projects you can do in which you can use this fabric. Pin cushions are really very easy, especially this one. This is just 2 squares of fabric with a button in the center. And this one here has something called a yo-yo, which is really, really easy to make. And then these have 2 pieces of fabric on them. Also, really, really simple. So if you're just getting started sewing, a pin cushion is a great way to get started. These are really, really cute pin cushions. Now on these, you've got 2 different fabrics, but 4 pieces, stitching them together. And what's nice about these is you can hang them up on the wall, maybe on your bulletin board. If you have one next to your sewing machine, I know I like to keep a bulletin board in my sewing room because I can just stick all kinds of things on it. And this is a cute little heart-shaped one. And then probably this one's a little more challenging. It's a little flower. It's just 2 pieces of fabric, and you're using DMC thread to give it this little flower blossom look. And then this one here has a little bit of a base that you can put on it. And this is also the same as this, except that it has this little base on the bottom. If you're interested in making any of these pin cushions, click on the link in the upper right-hand corner and it will take you to a list of videos, a playlist that will have all of these in it. This is a sewing machine organizer. Just think of it as a large placemat that has 8 pockets on it. This is not difficult to make. Like I said, it's like making a placemat that has pockets on it. So you can store your sewing items in there. And this is how you would use it. You would place it underneath your sewing machine and then let this part hang over the edge of the table. This is a bag in which you collect your little scraps in as you're sewing. So how this works is you have a little piece of fabric at the end with a ribbon attached to it that's attached to the bag. The actual bag is held together by this embroidery hoop, which you can buy at craft stores. And so let me show you how you would use it at your sewing machine. Place the little square under the sewing machine and it holds it while this dangles over the edge of your table, and as you're cutting up fabric and snipping and clipping, you just drop it in this little bag. Now I have viewers who tell me they don't throw their little tiny pieces of scraps away because they put it out in their yard for the birds to use to make their nests. This is a sewing machine cover, and there are 3 pockets on the front for you to store your sewing accessories, like maybe a box of straight pins, tape measure, seam ripper, things like that. On the side, let me turn this so you can see, is a little ribbon tie here. So you just buy the ribbon, you don't need to make any kind of a strip, stitch it on, and you tie it on the sides. This is a really easy cover to make. You have the option of using bias tape, because I know a lot of people when they're first learning to sew are a little afraid of quilt binding. I'm not. I think it's really easy. But if you're afraid of quilt binding, then use the bias tape. This sewing machine covers the entire sewing machine. There's also a storage pocket on each side of the cover. This is my absolute favorite sewing machine cover. On the front are spools of thread that you use a technique called machine applique, and it's really easy. You use fusible web, iron it on, and then stitch around the edges. There are optional decorative buttons on there. I love buttons. I have a huge button collection. I like putting them on almost everything. And some decorative ribbon, which is also optional. There's no storage pockets on the side, but you can always add them on. If you're interested in making any of these sewing machine covers, then again, play this video all the way to the end where you'll see a green screen appearing. And then click on the link that says Sewing Machine Covers. If you're still not sure what you can make out of this fabric, don't forget you can even make a large tote bag out of this to carry your sewing items into your next sewing class. I hope I have inspired you to start using these novelty fabrics, and continue playing this video till you get to that green screen where all those other links are listed. I hope you liked this video. If you did, would you please click on thumbs up, and don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. And if you haven't subscribed yet, click on that red subscribe button down there in the lower right-hand corner. Don't forget to click on that little bell and enter your email address so you can receive email notifications about my latest video. If you haven't received notifications, then go to your cell phone, click on settings, and turn notifications in the on position. I'm Cheryl. This is Steve. This is Sue, and this is Manny. So glad you came to my sewing room. See you next time, and happy sewing!